Fight again back for that slot in the first 11. So it's good to see this young player get back to shape again after suffering an injury.
I think that's a big one. Andres Aldeguer's got a lot of potential, and he's a player that they could really count on for the future, and he's already performing at this moment in time. I think his ceiling is quite high, and they're experimenting with him in a position that we haven't seen him that regularly, where as in the past he would lead the line. Now he's being played out of off the wing and utilizing his pace and his power down the wing. And you know, it's interesting to see what he's going to be capable of. And also we saw a glimpse of Ryan Lim, who was a player that actually I got a chance to speak with Scott Cooper on the side before one of the big games, and he was talking about, wow, this kid Ryan Lim, he's something special. Right, he's saying that, you know, he's got a lot of qualities to him that he has not seen in even some of the most talented players that he's had an opportunity to coach. So Ryan Lim, surprise, surprise, actually is a player to look out for, and he marked his debut with a goal.
Yeah, and what a goal. It was absolutely smashed it into the top of the net. But a lot of good performances across the team from Montague. Akoto got a brace from center back. Mark Hartman, usually not even surprised with it anymore, controlled the game with his quality. And yeah, Montague will be happy with this result. However, there is a small question mark now, or as I say, small question mark. It's actually a big question mark as to
Go spill the tea.
whether...
Anong nangyari, Diego?
Ano nangyari?
So according to rumors, of course, not confirmed fully on the side of the Montague, but a team in Cambodia, that's Visaka, I believe it's pronounced, have announced Scott Cooper as their latest coach. And it looked pretty official. It's the official page. They made the announcement. So let's see how this develops, because it would not be ideal if Montague lose a coach as good as Scott Cooper this early on.
Baka kapangalan niya lang. Kasi yung photo siya parang hindi niya naman kamukha eh.
But yeah, in all honesty, yeah. After having such a great run, good form, beating Kaya, um, beating Maharlika after that, getting such good results, and being able to start the first leg strong. Uh, it's going to be it's a wait and see game of how they will adjust without, if it's true again, quote unquote,
Right,
diba? Lagi
right.
ganyan eh, quote unquote. Um, so yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a big loss, not just for one to gig, if it is true, then, but it's also a big loss for the league because
Mm-hmm.
Scott Cooper is a personality, and he's a person that you can guarantee is studying the other teams very well,
Yeah.
and he didn't get the result that he was looking for against Manila Digger, for example, but he turned that around and got a victory against Kaya, right? So you can see that he's testing out new things. He's still getting to know his squad. So we're expecting that there is going to be a lot of chess that was going to be played on the sidelines alongside the battles on the pitch. And now we're going to be robbed of one of the better tacticians in the league. But again, one person's loss or the team's loss is going to be another person's gain. And that means there's a huge possibility that his assistant or somebody within the one to gig setup is going to get a shot. And what a squad you have, and what a run of games that you guys have already put together. So, you never know. It could be, the coming out party for a promising young coach in one to gig.
Yeah, and of course, one thing you have the whole of December and the Christmas break to readjust. Should the rumor of Coach Scott Cooper be true that he is going to Cambodia, and if it's not, then this entire conversation was completely completely meaningless. But it looked kind of official, despite the shot,
Dodgy.
the dodgy photo editing from that Visaka social media page. But that was our first game of the previous PFL weekend. Again, 9-0 in favor of Wantegig, and they boost themselves once again in the table. Disappointing more on Valenzuela PB Mendiola because it's becoming a super common trend to see them on the end of results like this. But the next game, we expect it to be a closer game. And in the end, it actually wasn't. It was Maharlika FC taking on Cebu FC. Maharlika coming off the loss to Wantegig. So they wanted to bounce back. This was a good game for them to bounce back. And then all of a sudden, Cebu just go full throttle and they go 4-0 up before, I think, a last-minute consolation goal from Maharlika. I'm going to start with Jing because I believe you actually called this one
Yep.
with Alex. And what did you think of this Cebu performance?
I think they've got a vendetta against people who doubted them. People might have been talking. We had a slow start, and then iniisip nyo, di na kami top 6 material. And they've proven their point over the last stretch of games where they're a proper side, and they look dangerous. This is the thing about Cebu, right? I mean, they defend well, and every time they go forward, it's with intent to kill, essentially, right? We're not going to be cute. We're not going to pass the ball around and play possession game and progress our way forward. We're going to go vertical every time we get a chance. And we're going to have a guy out there who's just, his goal, his entire game is about being a predator, right? Rico Andes is out there. Put the ball in behind. He's going to run. He's going to battle. And he knows where the goal is. And then in set pieces, we've got a lot of different opportunities or weapons to utilize. So, they can hurt you in many different ways. That's the problem, right? So you have to really mind your P's and Q's when you're dealing with Cebu. And now they look like, okay, this is the team that won a title for a reason. This is the reason why they won the cup, right? Because they're so dangerous all over the pitch. And what Glenn Ramos has done really well, their coach, is to make sure that they're a cohesive unit. Very cohesive unit. And I'm very impressed with what I saw that day.
Yeah.
Just to add on what you said, that's right. They did have a slow start, but again, this is a long league. This isn't a sprint. We always say that this isn't a sprint. It's a marathon, and you feel like they're slowly but surely finding their form, their momentum, and you'd say that it's at the right time, leading into next year. So they bring this on with them during the Christmas break and the holiday break, and to start strong and fresh in January.
Will it be Valenzuela PB men will make an upset, or will UMAK FC carry on their winning ways right here? One team looking to catch up in the standings, that is Valenzuela PB. But for Aguilas, in the championship round race, they will commit to the topics. Joining us right here on the Philippine Football social media pages. Manzang here alongside Glenn Casas. And it is quite a gloomy day right here for football. And just as you see, showers at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is going to be an interesting day right here.
Yeah, it certainly is. And don't let the weather fool you. Umuaambon na po right now. And it is getting a little bit wet here. And certainly that could open up some opportunities for real attacking football.
Let's see if temperatures will also drop, of course, as we will get closer to the evening, of course. But let's take to our squads as we will look to break them down. And for Valenzuela, PB MENDIOLA, despite of them being a tenured PFL team already, they have been struggling, and something, of course, we spoke about. Perhaps to grab the upset over a higher ranked team, they need to play a perfect game.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And certainly not just a perfect game as far as the attacking is concerned. They really need to patch up their defense. They have been rained on. They have allowed the chinks in their armor to have ended in favor of the Garelli side. The rest of the four other teams were the top dogs. So you could really see from the results here, 9-0 for One Taguig, 7-0 for Maharlika, 5 for Stallion, 8 for Kaya. They have been raining on the goals here. And defensively speaking, this is one of the aspects that they really need to fix ASAP.
Because those teams that they lost to, just going back to that, of course, are essentially the barometers or the front runners are right here in the PFL. And here is that formation of theirs. And essentially, they are going with a back four.
Well, actually quite interesting. They are going with a parang nasobrahan yata 4-4-2-1. I think that's a 4-4-1-1, and they have to. I think they were shifting from their previous. Interesting enough, their last formation was a 3-4-2-1, in which they were focusing on a three-man defense with the wingers having to track back for them. But this time, 4 defenders. We'll have to see.
Let's see if reverting to a more classic or basic formation will be the fix right here for the of theirs, coached by Jason Sorano, who did play also like a very Baloctora. He has, of course, been out on a mission, jump ship in surprising fashion, right, over to Valenzuela PB, and he leads the way, 3 goals to his name.
Agree. And looking at this scoring goals that he has been doing for the team, it really is critical that if the skipper in Ruben Doctora is able to perform well, the team would be able to perform just as well. So it really is on his shoulders to rally this team. He has the experience, he has the aggressiveness up front to really do it. And talagang nakita natin na when he just takes his time, he takes the spaces and knows how to shoot.
And with the way he's been playing, sabihin na natin, Glenn, turn back the clock right here, Balot Doctora. And of course, showing us that age is just a number, because when he does get to score, of course, that shows that the midfield is able to do their thing and to set him up, because as we know, he cannot do everything alone. But there you go with Valenzuela PB MENDIOLA, as we got to break down the different players here and there. Let's get to the coach.
So what to expect is just play 100%. We just need to win. We apply the trainings we did in this game to get the 3 points.
As they say, as we know, the way you perform in training will translate to the game. And that is how you actually determine your rotation, with players getting to outplay one another here and there for their respective spots. With Valenzuela, PB, Menjola done and dusted, let's head over to the favorites in this game, or the team that has been favored by the community when we look at it statistically, because it's a second David and Goliath match. Let's get to Aguilas UMAK FC. Control the midfield because you control the game. This is something, of course, wherein they've been hot and cold when it comes to facing top contenders.
Yeah, and you would really have to rely on a strong midfield in order to prevent the supply from coming in, and at the same time being able to provide the supply for yourself. But at the same time, we have to look at it offensively as well. Aguilas has been one of those teams that, well, depending on who they're up against, yeah,
Win because they bagged the goal at the last minute, and then that lost to Cebu at 4-game 2-0 100% record. So there's a test I'd like to think, because they just encountered a speed bump.
indeed. And you know, when it comes to really maintaining your momentum, maintaining the energy within the team, it really is difficult coming off of a loss and a draw. But that's also one of the things that makes a contender, the ability to really just compartmentalize and move on to the next game. But tactically speaking, they are still employing the 4-2-3-1 that they have right now. So that is quite interesting, that they will pack the midfield in the hopes of perhaps really taking control of this game, which no doubt might happen.
Talarok has been that thrilling player to watch, of course, in the midfield, specifically on the wing. And if you will mess with that right flank of Aguilas UMAK, you will not only have to deal with Kart Talarok, also his brother Richard.
Yeah, and again, Talarok has been one of the dynamos in the midfield for Aguilas. He makes those runs, and at the same time, if you can give him the ball and some space, he might have the ability to do damage. Although the numbers are not really speaking up for him just yet, because so far, mas marami pa yung goal and assist ng kanyang kapatid na si Richard Talarok, with one goal and one assist. So far, he has one goal to his name. I'm talking about Kart Talarok. And really, it's him that really have to rely on to really take control of that midfield.
He is definitely, of course, a part of that formula of theirs. But when it comes to goal scoring, Ibrahim Adamu will be up front. 5 to his name so far in this season. And when it comes to assists, you've got Ruben Theron, the former Malaysian international, and you've got Filipino fullback Brian Palpalatok. They lead in the assists category with 2 each to their name. But at the end of the day, let's see if they'll be able to translate what they want over onto the field, as we've similarly mentioned with Valenzuela PB Menta. And we will take it for coach interview for Aguilas UMAK.
Okay, we approach this game with the same level and respect and professionalism of every opponent. This is not an easy game in modern football. If you underestimate an opponent, it's going to be a problem for a team. So we're just maintaining our focus. We're just maintaining our discipline. And we're just executing our game model against them.
Classic Frank Muescan mentality there, come to think that, given that he is very tenured also, whether it be in the professional ranks, even playing on the AFC club level ranks, or getting up there as a coach, even got to get success when he was involved in the UAAP back in the day. As we mentioned, it's match number 44 right here. We are coming to you, as always, from the Rizal Memorial Stadium in Manila. It's Valenzuela, PB Menjol, and Aguilas, UMAK FC. And of course, before we march in and welcome our players in a bit, we will first take this break. Match officials po ngayon. Ang referee natin ay si John Mike Basinang. Ang kanyang mga assistants ay si Brian Buergo at Romario de la Cruz. Ang fourth official ay si Michael Barajas. Si Ravelo Saluria ay ang referee assessor. And si Gina Bella ay ang ating match commissioner. Team captains Nano Amita to your right and Palot Doctora to your left. Moments away from kickoff right here. We will preview the lineups once more as we carry on in this game. It's that grind again to make it to the top 6. We'll explain why again, but here is that lineup, Glenn, of Coach Jason Soberano.
Yes, and another patch up on the defensive work. Hopefully, this time around, they'd be able to prevent the side from coming in. It's really critical that they make sure the chances don't keep coming.
But on the other side, with Aguilas UMAK of Coach Frank Muescan, they are carrying on with that 4-2-3-1, which is becoming their trademark. And here's that crew of his.
Yes, and again, if they wish to control the midfield right now, they need to make sure that all of those 5 midfielders are functioning well. And again, one thing that that we noticed from the last game, and we're gonna point it out again today, is the positioning of Pickering. Charles Simon Pickering is up front again, although on our sheet he is listed as a defender, but we have seen the effectivity of that player when it comes to holding the ball up front and making those key passes as needed.
Coach Jay Sean pictured a look, of course, the likes of Frank Isaac Ano, Valenzuela, PB Mendiola in white and red, Aguilas UMAK in blue and red. And going back, Charles Pickering kicking this off with Tomoki. Aguilas playing from right to left. Valenzuela, PB playing from left to right, and they have to deal with this wave early on. But going back with Charles Pickering, he's actually a natural striker. And he is a homegrown player, a Filipino Kiwi. They shifted him to defense, I recall, when he was with Stadion Laguna. And had some good opportunities playing fullback. If they had Dog Schaffner on one side, and sa kabila si Pickering. And it seems now Coach Rank is using Pickering in his natural position. As it's the opener here, and we are only 35 seconds into this game. One of the fastest goals of the season. Adam gets 6th of the campaign.
Wow, and again, Adamu has been that kind of player that would punish you for making mistakes like that. They just lost the ball in a very critical area. And again, the pass, they were caught ball watching there. They didn't even notice Adamu in the right space. Look at how easily the ball was threaded after losing that possession. May dalawang nagbabantay, and yet no one was able to put a foot in between.
Actually saw that came off the man, and essentially it was gifted to Adamu. He's gonna put that away 99% of the time.
Indeed, and with that kind of range, you don't miss from there. You don't have to go full power in it. You just need to put it in any general direction towards the goal.
Valenzuela, PB in a hole 35 seconds into the game. We also have Kaisen, who is starting at goalkeeper for the Aguilas. They actually have that history of getting Indonesian players, as you got to see in the previous PFL season. Xavier Zachariah, just to name some of them, of course.
And it's a good thing for Philippine football to really diversify the availability. And at the same time, it is starting to go, the Philippines as a footballing country is starting to attract players from other countries to play here professionally as well. While of course maganda pa rin na yung homegrown natin maparami at lahat, they also need to have these kinds of players in the mix to really improve the competition.
And of course, Aguilas also with a number of players from our neighboring ASEAN countries. Here's another one in. Zambrano deadly has to stop, half cleared. Balot had to clear himself, also drop back. Here comes Cartalarok. Nagmamadali siya. Amita gets hit. He is on the ground. Free kick without a doubt.
Amita there just trying to hold on to that ball and wait for the pass, but the defender was on him really quick.
Going back, of course, with what we were talking about with Kaisen. This is his first appearance in the Philippines Football League. He's a 21-year-old Indonesian, and he is part of that national team of theirs. The youth ranks, of course, to be precise, since he's still eligible for those ranks. But
That ball in front of.
And Jack Zambrano definitely expecting better, not just from his back line, but from his entire team. just like that, Valenzuela PB left having to play catch-up also, playing the pace to the game of the Aguilas.
And so far, it has been really difficult for Aguilas to, or rather for Mendiola to get across the half line.
Combinations, here comes Pickering, want to play it to Adamu for his early brace. Cleared off by that central midfield tandem. Kaisen, Ryan Palpalatok had to hit the emergency button. Headed over by Escosora to the side. Lapas. Getting it now over to Isaac Ano. Hancock did get the stop, but our referee did say it came off a Mendiola player. That is why it will be a goal kick right here for them.
That was a split-second hesitation from Isaac because he was waiting, and Doctora was in the perfect space to just receive a pass, but Isaac was really under pressure.
Yamamoto from Nahuel Amaricha. Amaricha, the Argentinian. And speaking of Argentina, they are in the same group as the Filipino 5 in the FIFA Women's Futsal World Cup. Head to fifa.com/tickets for more information. There's actually a game tomorrow where in the Filipino 5 will be squaring off with Morocco, fellow group mates of theirs. Great time, as always, for the Philippine football circuit. Not every day, Glenn. We have tournaments here in quality football left and right that we get to see.
Well, football in general in this country is starting to thrive, and we're really hoping that the Women's Futsal World Cup isn't the last of the international football competitions that we're going to get here.
You know, with that, I've been emphasizing also, you have the collegiate ranks, university ranks, you have the PFL, the different national teams, and then the tournaments being played here. Parang naging eat-all-you-can buffet ng football, and we are loving it.
But to be frank, I mean, to be fair, it hasn't really been that way in the last decade or so, because football hasn't really been given that much attention. But right now, the age of social media and live streaming certainly is working its wonders now.
He did get a body inside the box. Anticona on the other side. But it was won easily by the Aguilas. Amita exchanged touches with Hancock. Hancock has that center back, can also play the ball very well to the midfield.
And also,
Charles Pickering now breaking free on the left. Si Kartalarok din lumipat sa kaliwa. Brian Palpalatok on the overlap. Never ball to Pickering. Defense got to read it though. To stop by Takardon.
that's what's really missing from Valenzuela right now. It's the lethality in the passing that they have. Parang yung confidence ng passing nila, lalo na sa final attacking third, that's where they usually don't find the target as easily as Aguilas does.
Let's recall, Valenzuela PB Mendiola did score in the 2-1 loss to Garelli. But in the last 180 minutes, or essentially 2 games, scoreless. So that's got to be a concern right here for Coach Jay Sean and his staff. Palpalato cut inside. Tomoki. And Tomoki did get some time also to play in the earlier parts of the season. But this is a deep squad, so iniikot din nila yung mga players. They'll play it back. Amaricha. Talarok. Richard, to be precise, as he took that shot, it may have ricocheted off a teammate. Nonetheless, goal kick.
Plus the marking itself from Valenzuela Mendiola right now, it's really not adding a lot of pressure for Aguilas to lose the ball easily. It's like they were able to really keep the ball despite the number of bodies in between. Quality of the passing.
Jack Zambrano's move over to Valenzuela PB, could say, boosts them further given his experience in Cebu FC. He got to hold his own in that stacked lineup of theirs. But Mendiola with their work cut out, as we mentioned. They cannot afford to sit back anymore. You could say it's early in the game, but it's crunch time because they need to create chances if they at least want to get on level terms.
And again, the defense really needs to wake up, and be a little bit more, make decisions half a second faster.
A half a second or a split second actually is a big difference in sport as a whole, as Balot played it to the left. They're trying to race back now, and it's easily saved by Kaisen. Very routine.
Yeah, and I have my hands in my head right now because that was a prime opportunity to just thread the ball through the player waiting in the middle of the box. That was a really good opportunity. It's just gone begging for Valenzuela right now.
Just 10 minutes in, and there's an early goal already. Just to mention again, it was Ibrahim Adamu, the hero. The 35-second hero, of course, right here. But to be precise, that is at the first minute. As they're cutting inside now, shot is denied at the bottom corner by Zambrano, but that was a low rocket. That was it from Yamamoto.
Yeah, and Zambrano really has been starting to get a little bit more awakened.
If there's any bright spot here, you're getting some stops on defense now. Better late than never. Can that translate to your offense when you refer to Valenzuela PB?
Now that's still a question that remains to be answered, because right now one of the important things that they do is the long pass. And
corner whipped in, defensive header from Francis Tacardon. Amaricha put it back in the middle, and it is definitely skied by Richard Talarok. As we say ang tawag dyan, home run.
maling klaseng scoring.
Yeah, nga, layo ng bola eh. Taas din ang tira eh.
Pero yun, you would see that Mendiola really just loves to hoof the ball up high because they want to skip the defense. They are being pressed really high, and most of the teams do this because Mendiola does have the tendency to lose the ball after slight pressure up front.
But with whatever approach you take, of course, as we always say, it can hurt you or help you. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, but it's all up to the execution of players. In contrast to Mendiola playing the long ball, Aguilas do like to play it on the ground like this. Palpalato will get it. Left-footed cross. It was collected by Christian Lapas. Balot. Anticona. And it wasn't successful right here for Mgong Os.
Yeah, Mgong Os didn't find the field wide enough for him, but there were three defenders that were really just pressing him to make that mistake.
That is why this is going to be a throw-in. Do not forget, it is a doubleheader today in our games. But it's Valenzuela, PB Mendiola, and Aguilas, UMAK FC. A bit of the fake. But Gustavo says, not in my house. That's the Brazilian defender. It's his second stint with Mendiola.
And that's exactly what we need to see from him, because the supply will no doubtedly or the high press.
Amita. They're trying to clamp him down. There's the press. Valenzuela PB trying to mount a response. Amaricha. To get past Ano. Tomoki playing it. Flag stays down. That pass is over to Yamamoto, and Zambrano secures. Yesterday we did have a triple header. Stallion Laguna defeated DB Garelli 8-0. Finn McDaniel led away with 5 goals. Stefan Schrock and one Galiana Trujillo. Get 2 assists each. The right wing, Francis Tacardon gets something here for them moving forward. That second game, Cebu did defeat Army 5-0. 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers. 5 games, Cebu did defeat Army 5-0. 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers. 5 different players assisted that.
Look at that defensive there. Good job from Palpalatok to just keep it, but he really could not contain his man.
Here's the service with the right foot. Hancock, just that ball winner right here for Coach Frank. And Pickering tried to play it now to Ibrahim Adamu. Sends it back to Pickering. He's got to shoot. He's able to do so, but the defense got to stop him. And Mahindran was in the way. Fantastic defending.
Yeah, and Pickering had the option of threading that ball to Talara right in the middle. Didn't choose that option.
Well, the Aguilas winning this corner kick. We've seen a handful of those already. They're continuously mounting the pressure. Quality balls too, right? Not just into the goalkeeper area well, but inside that 6-yard box. They are congesting that area of goalkeeper Jack Zambrano. Here's a header, and the Aguilas double their lead just like that. Oh, no good right here though. Seems like there's a foul on the ground. That is confirmed. The Aguilas gutted. But Valenzuela PB Mendiola playing with fire, it seems.
They survive another attempt there. But you really have to man your guard, or to really guard your man there, because no one was there to take the ball off of Pickering when he headed it in. He was an open man.
Amita will continue to facilitate. And also based on the statistics we've been able to get from our friends, of course, the Aguilas with quite a number of yellow cards led by Nano Amita himself. Amaricha, Palpalatok, Nano. Just to wrap up, of course, the triple header results yesterday. Manila Digger FC did defeat KFC Iloilo in our battle of the PFL representatives in the of our PFL representatives who do play on the Asian stage. That was 2-0. And Babukar did bag a goal and an assist. Let's see how Valenzuela PB and Aguilas will ride this chapter in the opening game on this fine Sunday. Tacardon from Zambrano. The two actually did go to UP for their football. There's a shove from M. Gongos. But this one on target had some power. Zambrano neutralized it.
Yeah.
He wants to start a counter right here. Couldn't get any options.
That was unfortunate too. He really wanted to just let that ball go, but there was just no opening to give that pass to. That shot though, that was another opportunity that they just allowed to unbothered.
Let's also run through the scenario in the standings. Yes, Aguilas are out to cement their position in the top 6 so that they could advance to the championship round. And in that championship round again, your standings will carry over, but the top 6 will play in a single round robin. At dahil carry over yung mga resulta or your points, you could get an advantage in the title race. Touch inside the box. Hancock with a clearance once more and denied Anticona.
Anticona almost there, but the first touch was just not for him.
Off of Tomoki. Cleared off. Ibrahim Adamu. Just that freight train with so much power. He's got that sports car engine, if we could describe, as Gustavo hits the deck. And he is shaken up.
Adamu is not only a really fast runner, but he is also a big man with a lot of strength. You could man mark him and it would be really hard for you. Gustavo just trying his best to get in between him and the ball, and Yeah, just like being hit by a train.
Seemed also that Gustavo made the most of that with his veteran moves. He is experienced again, he also got to play in the likes of the Thai League. Oh, and just to add, you can also call him Uncle Gustavo because I believe he is an uncle in his family now also. Congratulations, of course, to Gustavo's family. As it's going the other way now, courtesy of Hancock. The clearance connecting with a teammate. Tomoki plays it wide. There was the space. The Aguilas found the back of the net a number of times, but were flagged offside. But they have their goal already for Ibrahim Adamu. Here comes Cart. Amita the touch. The defense got to recover. Gustavo getting the stop. Desperate defending. It's only half cleared though. Palpalatok almost got it to Cartalarok, and M. Gomos was in the way and got to delay it.
That was a good delivery, or that was a good dribble coming from Talarok there, just leaving Takardon behind.
Balot playing this one through. Quality ball to Frank Isaac Ano, but Hancock could not get past or get the stop. Gets to rattle the post though.
That was their prime opportunity to level the scoring, but Isaac just hits the post instead. That was a really difficult angle too.
It could have gone the other way. Unfortunate for the former DLSU striker. Now it's Amita. Mishit it here. That's two opportunities, and Nano hasn't been able to score or come up with a shot to challenge the keeper.
And considering the experience that Nano Amita has, that was also poor from him. Let's have a look at this one. Isaac did well to really just get himself in front of his markers. But that shot, the angle was just so difficult. And the keeper did well. Kaisen there made himself big.
Punched up by Zambrano, but it went to Adamu. Keeper got to recover. The defense, of course, were in sync as they had to come up with that stop. The keeper slightly offline. Takardon stops Talarok. Clearance, though, is impeded. That could have gone the other way earlier for Valenzuela PB. That's gotta hurt.
I know. That's the closest that they have. And then right there, they almost got punished as well. It was just fortunate that Amita couldn't get his laces through.
What's the verdict right here? And it's going to be a goal kick. Two clean sheets for Aguilas UMAK already in this season. One for Iko Mangawang and the other, of course, for Shiraoka. Kaisen is keen on joining that list of theirs.
Well, it is a tough ask, but it is statistically possible, provided that Valenzuela is not able to find the target here. But they have been shining a little bit there. Some glimmers of hope.
Away we go now onto the left. Cartalarok opts to dribble through. And this is stopped from the looks of it. But it's just been defending one-way traffic in favor of Aguilas.
I think Gustavo roughed up Adamu a little bit there, not getting off him as quick as you would want. Let's have a look at that delivery again from Talarok. Just making that run again, being a menace on that left side. Adamu there just couldn't redirect.
Great stop by Gustavo. I thought personally for a moment Adamu got a hit. And somehow Gustavo flew in to stop. But right there, it was the Brazilian defender who got that stop clean and clear, but very deep and close into the goal.
Ooh, flag stays down.
Here comes Balot. Off target here. But it's another chance. The Aguilas contesting that non-call. And Valenzuela PB Mendiola getting some life on the break.
Yeah, but again, that was a bit too hastily taken. But I think he was really hoping that he was going to find the target.
24 minutes into this game already. And it's the Aguilas in red and blue. Valenzuela PB in white with some shades of red. It's 1-0 thanks to Ibrahim Adamu. He scored 35 seconds into this game. Amaricha took a fall. This time around also, another player hit the deck. Gongos. He appears to be okay, and we expect to see him back on his feet in a bit. And we've been seeing clearly, Glenn, Aguilas taking the initiative in this game. A bit of the hold from Adamu over from Gustavo over to Adamu. A shot taken and denied once more by Zambrano at the bottom corner.
Wow, the first goal really came off real easy for Aguilas. It was just a simple tap-in, but right now they're really finding it difficult to get the second one. And they've had plenty of opportunities, even easy ones, that they passed up.
But an ebb and flow continues right here. The Aguilas with creativity on the attack. Corners too mounting. This is no good, but the physicality has definitely gone up in this game, and we are just 25 minutes in.
With the number of misses that Aguilas is doing right now, they really have to take advantage.
Gustavo quite shaken up. And he's had to put in the work along with Mahindran as the center back pairing for Valenzuela PB. Quite an afternoon for Jack Zambrano.
Definitely the busier of the two keepers this afternoon.
Without a doubt, you could say. Here comes Richard Talarok, Tomoki. If the Aguilas fall in this game, Maharlika will be breathing right down their necks. Because if the Aguilas fail to win, as it's intercepted by the keeper, but going back, if the Aguilas fail to win, Maharlika have a chance to just leapfrog them in the standings. Mendiola, though, are 10 points away from the closest spot to make it to the top 6. This is a chance to cross for Aticona. Stopped well by Palpalatok, who is a shoo-in in the back four of Coach Frank.
Yeah, that was a really good tackle from Palpalatok. Just timed it nicely and takes the ball away very cleanly.
Don't you forget also, though, that Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the Philippines Football League. This is the last game of the Aguilas in this calendar year, as it's another shot on target. We've seen a great number of shots already from the Aguilas. You have to credit Zambrano and Mendiola's defense for stepping up as much as there's room for improvement. But do you see something lacking with the finishing of the Aguilas?
So far, it has been a lot of opportunities gone begging for them. They have plenty of chances there that they were not guarded, they were not marked, and a lot of unforced errors in the final attacking third, right after the first goal was scored.
Only one goal of Valenzuela PB in this tournament was assisted, and it was Victor Fayol who bagged the assist there. The rest, of course, were penalties or goals scored of individual efforts. Talarok to Amita. The return ball, Nano did run out of space.
Wow, that was a good save there from Zambrano. Just keeps it away and retains the possession for his team. But at what cost? Let's have a look at it. Amita to Adamu, then Amita making a run, but the pass was just a bit too ahead, and the ball just hits Amita on the head. So he was the last touch, hence that is a goal kick.
Talk about tough luck in a situation like that.
I think Amita wanted to still see if he could hit it into his direction, but
Sure.
it was just too high.
Zambrano resumes play as there's a slip from Tomoki. A clear foul according to referee John Mike Basinang. It's been a physical game indeed, of course, as we pointed out and witnessed ourselves. But while we're at it, we did mention the Philippine football calendar. We also have the Southeast Asian Games in December. Next year, there's a Women's Asian Cup.
So in other words, football never really stops.
Because when there's no PFL, we have the international break where we get to witness, of course, the Philippines national football team. Oh, they're not on the same page there. A Valenzuela PB player getting clipped. We are about to hit the 30th minute already in this match. So glad you could join us again on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Philippines Football League. This is Clara Manzano alongside Glenn Casas. Not a good sign as Christian Lapas is definitely shaken up.
Lapas is just holding on to his calf there, his left calf.
We hope, of course, that Lapas is okay and is able to continue.
This could be a good angle here. 50-50 ball. Lapas gets it first. Ooh. I think he felt it right after the impact.
But eventually he's back on his feet. That's at least a positive sign. Lapas will get some treatment on the side. He'll definitely look to return to this game. Teams using this opportunity to fine-tune tactics here and there. 14 minutes away until stoppage time in the first half between Valenzuela PB Menjola and Aguilas UMAK FC. Every point, every goal counts right here in the Philippines Football League. And given this format, Glenn, let's remember, right? The top 6 after our double round robin will advance. If you do finish in the bottom 5, you will be relegated to the consolation round, where you can also battle for your final place or final spots in the standings.
And that really opens up a lot of opportunities. Ooh.
As Pickering's header is just wide. So close yet so far right here for Charles Pickering.
Yeah, I think that he was just really trying to direct it goalwards, but he didn't notice that he was already past the post. But you know, one thing that the format really introduces here further is I think we could go for a 12 team next year if there would be another willing team to fill the slot. This kind of format introduced would really level up the excitement of the competition.
The more the merrier, as they say. Kaisen gave to Hancock, the Aussie. Bit of that token pressure from Valenzuela PB Menjola. Trying to split the defense here. Cart did secure quite a heavy touch, but the priority, of course, is that they are able to retain possession.
I think Aguilas is now a bit more wary of the counter-attacking threat coming from Menjola, and they have been really giving the scare when they have that counter-attack initiative coming.
Also follow us on TikTok while you're at it. _WeArePFL_. Amita has to play it back. Valenzuela PD, with that adjustment, they're now more compact. They got to break free for a little bit. This was taken. Heads over to Takardon. And as he thought he cleared it to no man's land, Frank Isaac Ano just tracks back and tries to win it for them. Gets hurt in the process. So he did say, call him Frank Isaac, because I asked him actually, do you call him Frank or do you call him Isaac? He said actually both. That's his full name. or full first name. And Balot gets this free kick deep into the right wing for them.
And Balot still really making those runs despite him well past his prime. Really a physical player from his earlier days.
Well, Balot is the team's leading scorer so far in this edition of the Philippines Football League. He has 3 to his name. And it is sure very cloudy right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. We did have showers again during the warm-ups. Here it comes. He thought it was overplayed. Gustavo couldn't get it, but it was secured by a teammate. Hancock putting the pressure, got to win it. Showing, of course, his ability with the ball.
Hancock had the opportunity to just take it away and really just put a foot in. That could have been an opportunity, though, if Valenzuela was able to keep the ball.
Palpallatok. Here they come now. Amita played it long. Fantastic touch right here. Early cross, Charles Pickering the touch. And it's a goal here. The Aguilas double their lead. And Charles Pickering gets on the scoreboard in this game.
And he has been waiting for that opportunity since the get-go. You could see that he had been making those clear passes. Now he gets a good pass himself. Look at how the ball was weighted just properly there. And the defenders were not able to clear it. Gustavo and Alex were overwhelmed here. Look at how high that ball went. And then there, the finishing, the confidence right in front of goal.
Pickering adds on to the goal of Ibrahim Adamo, and that is how they find themselves for the meantime 2-0, and that is Pickering's second goal in this season. And as we wrap that up, of course, it's the Aguilas once more trying to pounce. It couldn't be Pickering again, and Gomos was there now to track back. Clever flick, courtesy of Richard Talaro. They are playing through Amita, trying to be cheeky. Flag stays down. Mahendra gets to clear it desperately.
Not gonna work the same trick twice.
They'll try to stretch the defense. Now receives. The Aguilas playing their game, but knowing any team, of course, in the PFL, when they're in control in a situation like this, they are out to get the goals here and there to improve their goal difference. Takardon. His brother Florence does play in the UAP ranks. They did get to play together also, which is not often.
That's a recurring flavor in Philippine football. Sa liit ng mundo natin ngayon, there are a lot of sibling players.
Oh, Mgongos lost control. Adamo almost got it. And Gustavo was well in tight space, or did well in tight space. But going back, there's that flex with the Takardon family. You do have their brother Philmar in the high school ranks. And there's Florence in the university ranks. And then Francis playing pro. Quite a competitive household, which is a common recurring theme. And you like that.
Yeah, you would have to, well, up until the point where we get a lot of players with the differing qualities. Yes, this is certainly good.
Because you have the Amita family, right? They all play football pretty much. And I did mention in a number of broadcasts already. But what do they bond over? A surprising answer. Basketball.
Still as Filipino as it can get.
That is right. Perhaps that improving also the hand-eye coordination of the Amitas. And cross-training does have its benefits.
It does.
As we know. They are utilizing Zambrano as that extra man at the back to build up. 6 minutes remaining. There's the high threat of rain here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, with the way clouds are continuing to roll in. Talarok from Palpalatok. Tomoki receives it. That was his headband that fell into the pitch as this ball is offline. And perhaps that headband did some magic powers for him.
Well, he has put it back on now. But now that they've tightened up the midfield here, the more compact midfield from Aguilas, it's really making it difficult for Mendiola to put the pass in. They really have to rely on the high balls, and they're always the 50-50 kind of chance if it goes up in the air.
They will continue this now. Lapas. A good side, he is okay after taking that hit to his ankle earlier. Mgongos. Christian Lapas once more. Anticona. Trying to slice defense in the middle. Cartalarok putting in the extra effort. He cut inside as that winger. Got the stop. And here's his chance once more. Away we go. Across inside. Amita! I'm out of words to describe Amita getting so close to scoring. He fumbled some chances earlier. And now that he got to nail it, Zambrano is there to the rescue for Valenzuela PB. Job's not done for the defense though. His cross was denied, or that cutback.
Wow. And Amita really had to go for the spectacular type of shot in order for him to really test the keeper. And keeper was tested, but the keeper passed.
That would have been on our highlights without a doubt. Ana was calling for it though. Still cutting inside. A heavy collision here. Moricha is highly likely he's going to get a card and a yellow. Aningalan is definitely shaken up.
Well, let's have a look at this one earlier. That great weight of a pass there. And Amita was just reading that trajectory, but he knows he could do better. And then this one from the other side. What an impact there from Amaricha.
I'm still in awe with that level of skill to meet a ball like that mid-air. And we were just talking about hand-eye coordination or ball sense.
And then Amita just really, it was a volley too. He didn't wait for the ball to bounce on the ground, and he took it first touch.
But it's a prime chance now for Valenzuela PB to get on the board as we have confirmation on the yellow of Nawala Maricha. And that drizzle or shower returns right here. Shot taken and sails over the bar.
Another close chance there, but again, they really have to start nailing it down, at least challenge the keeper at this stage.
Let's recall again. For Aguilas, control the midfield if you want to get the win. On the other side for Valenzuela PB, we say play a perfect game because oftentimes when you see them concede, essentially they are unable to claw their way back. As we say that, they're mounting some pressure now. Should Valenzuela PB score a goal, they'll get back into the game. Cartalarok with different plans. Cutting inside. There was the help. And Mahindran will get it to Zambrano as there's the charging Cartalarok. And Tomoki will get it back into the mix. He did not play to Cart because he knew he was offside. Interesting, Glenn, when they see they're offside, in this situation, wouldn't they just get the ball? Because one way or another, a lot of them chase it and the goalkeeper got it. It seems like there's a difference though. He just lets it play on.
Still trying to just prevent it from becoming a free kick situation.
Well, free kicks, of course, just allow you to get a little more organized, right, on the offense. And we're saying this even if it's from the back.
Plus, it really opens things up. I mean, we've seen a lot of opportunities start from a free kick coming from the back.
Cruise control right here now. The floodlights at the Rizal Memorial Stadium being turned on. Pickering slid it to Talarok. Trying to take on the D. Palpalatok, and that cross to the head of Francis Tacardon. No ill intentions. And that's a hit to the head, of course. You have to be concerned.
There will be a minimum of 2 minutes of additional time.
2 minutes of additional time as confirmed by our fourth official, Michael Barajas. And the rain stepping up.
Let's have a look at this again. Palpalatok putting that ball into the box, but there to head it away was Tacardon. And again, unlike your regular contact from other parts of the body, when it comes to the head, it is a concussion risk, and it is taken very seriously now as compared to football and other contact sports before.
Great sight, of course, that Tacardon is walking on his own, but they're going to do some precautionary checks. Here's an extra curveball with the rain also. Header. Pickering gets his brace here. The Aguilas playing the numbers game, and could say they've been clinical.
But really, you have to check with the defense as well. They were firmly planted there from Adam's header, and then the follow-through. I think they were calling that it was, it should have been offside or something, because they were clearly not happy.
Well, what we see, that one is gonna count. Pickering pushes his goal-scoring tally this season to 3. Seems like he never lost that touch, even if he had to play defender.
Goal for Aguilas UMAK FC by player number 7, Charles Pickering.
And going back, of course, as it's great to see that Tacardon is back on the pitch. We've also seen over the course of the season that we do have that concussion sub. So that pushes the team's substitutions to 6, all out of safety, of course. Safety is paramount. Chested now by Ano. Shoots, doesn't score. They're worried though because there's a potential for a rebound for Valenzuela PB. And Richard got to bring this one out to the side now for safety, as they could douse some of the flames put on here by Valenzuela PB Mendiola.
Well, you could see the weighted pass there to Isaac Ano. You saw him, he was just chesting it down. Great control, but really had to pull the trigger quickly because there were some mounting pressure about to approach him. Unfortunate that it was really right at the keeper.
And it is on to the halftime break. It's Charles Pickering leading the way for Aguilas UMAK FC. 2 goals for Charles in the first 45. And Ibrahim Adamu, let's recall, gave us an opener, scoring within the first 35 seconds of the game. And we'll see you in a bit, of course. It is a commanding 3-0 lead right here for Charles Pickering in Aguilas UMAK FC. He has a brace for the meantime, while Ibrahim Adamu did start things off, of course, with a bang. First play, Glenn, and they get a goal on the board, let's recall.
Yeah, and that was a really simple one from them. They just allowed the player to make that pass into the box. Adamu, easy tap in. Nobody there really to make it hard for him at the very least. And then you see the string of opportunities coming from Aguilas to just keep on nailing it. Afterwards, unfortunate that they've had plenty of misses. I think the scoreline could have been more at this stage, but there had been some mishaps from both sides, especially with a few sitters that Amita has missed. But so far, they did manage to recover, and Pickering just getting 2 goals and adding a brace to his name after making critical passes himself. That was a really good run from him. But then you saw on the other side that Isaac Ano had his own chances as well. This one right here, you saw that he almost had an opportunity to draw it level at that point in time. And this is what we were talking about. A possible sitter right there.
Zambrano did clamp down Amita there and reduce his angle. And here's a look at Pickering. Able to put it away. Clinical on the occasions that he did get the ball.
I think there was another one from Pickering earlier that was also called offside as well. But there you saw that was Takardon earlier walking it off after a potential concussion. But that was all good in dandy afterwards. And there you see the last clip was the 3rd goal in that final sequence leading to the end of the first half.
Some smiles from the father, Charles Pickering, who is present as always at the stadium when the Aguilas would play, as he'd support his son. Here's a look at these statistics. Of course, the Aguilas so far able to translate this into 3 goals. But you did say, of course, they could have been clinical, should have put away other chances. And let's also remember, with Valenzuela PB Menjola, they did get that free kick just outside the goalkeeper box. It sailed over, and there was also that time where Frank Isaac Ano rattled the goalpost.
Yeah, a couple of opportunities from Isaac. It could have actually been a 2-3 game, right? But unfortunate that he was really unable to find the net in both opportunities. One, the angle was a little bit too steep, a little bit too demanding. The other one, the defense was just not able, or was able to really just snuff it out. And at the same time, their goalkeeper, the usual that Kaisen, the Indonesian, usually as a substitute keeper now playing for them, has really done well.
Some real-time images here. It is not our quad vision replay, it's live pictures in quad vision, presented by Upstream Sports TV. And I've actually figured out how to look at all 4 angles at the same time. I'm not sure about you, Glenn. Nasanay ka na ba sa quad vision natin?
You look at them a little bit zoomed out para makita mo lahat ng sabay.
That's how you maximize the cameras too, of course. I do know that the football community loves quad vision, kahit replay or live shots. And sometimes when we have some close calls here and there, we're able to roll that out, of course. But as we know, no VAR or anything, so referees call things real time. Sometimes when there are any incidents that need to be reviewed, referees will have a discussion.
Well, that also opens up the opportunity that we can do, and we might be able to implement VAR. Hopefully it's something that's being studied and is still in the works. There was some talk about it being studied in the past. Not sure if it's still ongoing or if implementation is nigh, but that could really help officiating a lot.
Players locked in now for the second 45. We'll carry on that conversation also with VAR and other similar technologies. As Ano got this underway now, Valenzuela PB Menjola in white and red. Aguilas UMAK FC in blue and red. A big thank you for joining us again right here on the Philippines Football League's Facebook and YouTube pages. Caro Manzano here alongside Glenn Casas. Are you anything Are you expecting anything drastic from Valenzuela PB, given that they find themselves in a similar situation?
I mean, they have to. This is what you could call another desperate moment. It would be good if they could lock Aguilas to a 3-0 win at this point, because that certainly helps add a little bit more confidence to their defense. But at the same time, you know that they can do better. They have shown that they have the ability to do damage there. It was really just unfortunate for Isaac Ano to not really take those chances that he's been given. But you know that chances can be created, and you just need to make sure you take 1 or 2. In this case, 3 or 4.
As you got to hear also earlier, we did confirm the subs with the likes of Edulan and Fayol entering. As they will send it over to Hancock, try to build up with him. They've got the Aguilas UMAK Twin Towers here with Noel Amaricha and Nathaniel Hancock. Venezuela PB trying to get out of the danger area. He also got Choi Tai Yang, who did enter. Palpalato getting forward now, playing as an inverted fullback. Yamamoto. Dangerous ball was thwarted. And with that, right, you saying that if they keep it to 3-0, essentially, you play to a draw in the second half if you break down results, or if you break down the score. As they try to play it now to Richard Talarok, but to no avail. But with us just mentioning football technology, I did get to see it myself at the FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup. They do have video support, which is something being implemented also in other tournaments. We did see it also in the Women's Champions League. So essentially, if coaches challenge a call, the referee is going to have a look at that incident. So there's no VAR team at the back. There's a screen that can be utilized with the referee for certain situations.
And I think that was that could be closer to what they were talking about a couple of seasons back. I think the former commissioner called it VAR light, I think. So I think it might have something to do with not really having a full team of referees behind the screen, but rather just the ability to see the replays from a screen on the pitch.
I believe VAR light is the minimum standards also for VAR. And then you have your higher spec, which you see in different competitions also, where they have more cameras above the usual minimum. And actually, the likes of Cebu FC do have VAR when they play in their Shopee Cup or the ASEAN Championship games. As they're bringing it through the middle now. Adamu also tried to make a run. Cart will take it himself! And gives us a rocket to make it 4-0.
Difficult to reach that one, even for Zambrano at full stretch. You could see the trajectory of that ball. It was really just floating, 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 and then just inched its way underneath that bar. Have a look at that replay here. You left him the space. You gave him the chance to take that shot. Talarok, my goodness me.
They challenge him to shoot. Challenge accepted.
And look at the space he's been afforded by the defense. No one was really close to him, so he had all the time in the world to just have a look at where the goal is at and take a smack.
All the time, all the space. A fiesta of his own in that area of the pitch.
Well, with that being said, keeping it to 3-0 is no longer a discussion for Valenzuela Menjola.
If you break it down right in the second half alone, it's now 1-0. But overall, of course, it's 4. Charles Pickering leads the way. He has a brace, and he bagged that in the first half. Ibrahim Adamu gave us one of the fastest goals of the season and struck the back of the net in the 35th second, right when I was looking, of course, at our monitor, which has a timer.
Yeah, that was a real surprising moment as well. I mean, I think we were still warming up our seats at the time that it happened.
Jack Zambrano perhaps expected better also from his back line. But it's a recurring challenge that Valenzuela PB Menjola are facing. because they conceded 16 goals already in their last 2 games. And the 9-0 loss to Wantagig, 7-0 loss to Maharlika. They did beat Garelli 2-1. But they lost to Stallion 5-0 and Kaya 8-0. They lost to Digger 9-2. At least there's a consolation of 2 goals, but
The offset.
it's a recurring issue, that's right, that they need to assess. It's that same challenge also from last season where you'd see Valenzuela PB or Menjola struggle.
And you know, it's still a shame that they are one of the really veteran teams here, because they've been here since
Since 2019.
yeah, the original PFL season, I believe they have been here. Oh, were they not here during the very
Not a
first?
founding member, of course, of the PFL, but a tenured club already. They've been around for 6 years already.
They were there when the bigger teams that used to roam were still around, and now they're still here. But at the same time, they still haven't found their football.
If there's something you could point out, of course, they did advance in the Copa Paulino Alcantara in 2019. They did make it to the semifinals. They also did make it to the quarterfinals in the 2023 Copa.
So they have had some good chances to really rise up the ranks. But so far, now that the field of play has been a bit more competitive over the years, it's like they've been left behind.
With all due respect, the 2023 Copa was an open tournament that allowed amateur teams to mix up with full-fledged PFL teams. And, of course, the PFL teams were favorites to advance. So, let's see how they'll be able to mount a response. And it starts with a moral victory in this game. Maybe perhaps denying the clean sheet to Kaisen in his Philippines Football League debut when we refer to the Indonesian goalkeeper of Aguilas UMAK FC. Palpalatok staying behind. Amaricha thought about getting forward. Says, teka lang, ikaw na lang bahala. Amita back from Brian. Nano. They are on offense, but in cruise control. Perhaps something more than a miracle of biblical proportions if Valenzuela PB are out to get an upset. As Gustavo got the stop. Well, you see it was dispossessed from Aningalan. Shot from distance is way wide for Kira Yamamoto.
And again, you could see that the number of Aguilas players are just starting to crowd that box, making it real difficult for Mendiola to just get their head back in the game.
But it's a corner as it came off a defender. Just 8 minutes into the second half, and they have a goal to show when you refer to the Aguilas. Did have a heavy rain actually during halftime. So the shot came off a defender. And as much as that was too close for comfort, Zambrano knew what he was doing with his back line. They were on the same page. But it's outside right here for Aningalan.
Yeah, I think Zambrano slipped there while trying to take that long shot. Grass is slightly wetter and a bit more slippery right now after the rain.
But players, of course, familiar with these challenging conditions here and there. After all, they are playing in the same field, same conditions.
And this is typical Philippine weather as well.
You have 2 seasons, of course, hot and hotter. You experience rains in both, but jokes aside, of course. The tropical weather right here in the Philippines, also very humid. And a Mendiola with a rare chance to get forward, punched out by Kaisen. I believe there's a swing of the arm also there from Tae Yang, the substitute or game changer who came on. When you see the press there, Palpalatok won it, played it through to Adamu. Zambrano with a well-timed run.
That was real brave of him. He was really away there.
There's that judgment, of course, from goalkeepers. They have to get out of their box. Well, this one was a bit further than usual, come to think of it.
Yeah, Zambrano's starting point is really from outside the box, and right now he's even standing outside at the edge of the box as well. So really quick, a really early starting point for him to make that run.
We'd like to remind you that Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the PFL. Also follow us on TikTok while you're at it, _WeArePFL_. And we also have the FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup right here. To be precise, that's being played at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. And last Friday, the Philippines, or the Filipino 5, did fall to Poland 6-0, but there is another game tomorrow and a chance for them to bounce back. They will be squaring off with Morocco. But another double change right here. Ali Gamlush, one of the tenured players of Mendiola, about to check into the game. And we are checking on this sub in Quad Vision, brought to you by Upstream Sports TV. And joining Ali Gamlush in this second, or in this double substitution. And we've got Oliveira Barbosa.
Interesting to maybe provide some fresh legs and try to get themselves back in this game, Mendiola.
They're also using the chance to build some chemistry.
Alex Medgrad, replaced by player number 26, Gamlush Ali. Player number 5, Gustavo da Silva, replaced by player number 18, Paulo Oliveira Barbosa.
And as Coach Jason Sobrano rolled the dice to make 2 changes, now it is going to be Coach Frank Muescan and the Aguilas. Gia Bongolan will enter, along with Malik Xavier, also known as Kaka. Nawala Maricha and Cartalarok will call it a day after 57 minutes of action right here.
Player number 13,
Chance now here, Palpalatok to stop, Hancock.
Fernando Balistapier.
Channeling that midfielder in him, as we mentioned, right? He has that ability to also play the 6.
Andres Pomolan.
Adamu. He wants to join the ranks of Charles Pickering. He wants that brace. Pickering runs out of space up against Ali Gamlush. They try to cross it in somehow. And now they'll whip it to the left with Aningalan. One of their players, of course, who are part of that core. And essentially, there are some players here with Valenzuela PB Mendiola who did play for San Beda University.
I think San Beda is a feeder team to Mendiola, so yeah, it would be really natural to just see him progress.
One of the powerhouses has, you know, in the NCAA for football right here in the Philippines. A very long list, and if we run through it, I'm sure we're going to miss some players here and there.
But that does speak to how football is progressing here. There is now some sort of ladder to get yourself up to the professionals.
Some of the standouts, or if you could name one, Mike Asong, but no longer with Mendiola, but he did go up the San Beda ranks. Currently with Manila Digger. This is off the head of Ano to his frustration. Ano once tormented opposing UAP defenses. He's trying to bring that over here to the PFL. Near the 1 hour mark already. Kira Yamamoto. There's also a Japanese influence in his Aguilas UMAK squad.
A little bit of everybody when it comes to football. And that's what we really like to see in the PFL as well. The kinds of football that's being brought together here. And that would really bode well, especially if we keep developing our own home talent as well.
And it's great, of course, that Filipino footballers have this stage in the form of the Philippines Football League. We've seen a number of standouts in the PFL actually, not just get called up to the national team, but also play abroad. So sa sitwasyon na yun, sila yung nagiging import sa mga iba't ibang bansa.
And you know, it's really nice when you know that some Filipino players are really capable of doing it overseas.
It shows, of course, how Philippine football has grown, and we hope, of course, that just continues on. As we saw, that shot earlier from Yamamoto was no good.
Parang na-reset ng konti ang defense because Mendiola now is focusing on a back three again, and now they want to just take control of the midfield by putting more people in. Not a lot of people running back.
Collision in the midfield. Ali Gamlush struggling against Yamamoto. Gets it to the back with Etulan. Onto the feet now right here of Mahendran. Gets past one. Here is the support. Just calmly stopped by the Aguilas.
Good interception there.
Mendiola do have one more game before they head over to the Southeast Asian Games and Christmas break. And they are contesting this non-call right here. But 4-0 is the score again. Pickering with a brace, and Adamo and Cartalarok with goals of their own. There's that what if, of course, right? Because Ano rattled the goalpost earlier in that counterattack of theirs.
And this would be the third time throughout the game that another close call has been avoided by Aguilas. Like what we said, there's always a chance.
This one was directed towards the goal. The cross intercepted by Kaisen. And you see, of course, Adamo calling for it. Kaka, that danger man as ever. And that's kind of hurt as that came off the back line. Kaka's really given us some powerful goals. He is the Timor-Leste international, or one of them, of course. There is also Mozinho. Not often you have club teammates who are teammates at the international or national team stage. As you saw, that header was on target, but definitely lacking in power, given that the defense was there to make things difficult.
Yeah, and I think they were having some second thoughts on who's going to take that header, because there were two Aguilas players that were close to doing the header.
Palpalatok has been giving that two-way effort. But this ball was just intercepted or went straight into the gloves of Jack Zambrano. Gamlush will knock it back. We have another matchup again later on here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It will be Tuloy FC and one Taguig. Do you expect Aguilas here, Glenn, to stay the course, or are you expecting to see any adjustments with them holding a 4-0 lead?
It's quite important for Aguilas to keep adding to the pressure, because, like you said, all of the scores will carry over to the final round, to the championship rounds. So every goal advantage that they could have would really count towards their efforts. But yeah, if they want to hold on to their current place, because right now, if they win, if the score keeps it as it is, they do get the jump over and move to 5th place. So that would be in one way semi-cementing themselves into the final rounds before the end of the calendar.
It's the last game of the Aguilas for this year again before we head over to the Southeast Asian Games Christmas break. Valenzuela, PB Menjola, though, will get a chance to bounce back next week. Ano getting this one back. Going to get past Hancock. Confirmation of our goal scorers once more. Pickering leads the way with a brace. Cartalara gave us a banger earlier. Ibrahim Adamu started to scoring off early on. Here comes Kaka. Is he going to assist or score? Neither, as there was the stop. Pickering knocked it back because they did not have an angle there. Yamamoto. Frustration there, of course, as they gifted the ball to the opponent. Away we go now. Counter-attack time for Amir Aningalan. It's 2-on-5, you could say.
Great.
Ano got to secure.
Yeah, that was great movement from Aningalan. He was being guarded well, made that pass. Unfortunate with that last effort from Ano.
This one will stay on right here. A chance for Valenzuela PB Mendiola to get something on the board. Ano appears to be gassed right here. He's been giving it all. 66 minutes done and dusted. Will Valenzuela PB break the ice at the least? Secured once more by the Indonesian keeper. Volley taken low. Connecting right here with Kaka. The bench driving him on to push. Slithering through. There was this stop here. And some heroics from the Mendiola defense.
Zambrano just giving him the option. You want to take it to the left or to the right. He chose the left, which was a really difficult angle to shoot for. And keeper just puts a fist or a palm and gets the job done.
Well, Hancock just tracking all the way down and denying Victor Fayol of anything. Fayol has a goal to his name again. He did get to score in that opening day, a 9-2 loss to Manila Digger. 23 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Adamu, you see, he wants that brace bad. If not, even a hat trick, of course. Pickering, he has a brace, let's recall.
Now Pickering has a better chance of scoring another one with those kinds of opportunities. But you know, Adamu has been the kind to muscle himself into situations where he could score.
I look at the replay in that recent play.
Just bounces off the defense. Easy call for a corner there.
In comes Ruben Thiran. Alongside him, of course, we've got Isa Diallo, Kira Yamamoto, and Ibrahim Adamu will call it a day. They mean business here. They inserted attacking players. And Ruben Thiran is one of the most creative players we have seen right here. He actually may be one of the first Malaysians to play actually in the PFL. As they almost got to score, and there was a fingertip save by Zambrano.
Quality ball coming from Ruben Thiran. Just his inclusion, his addition to the current squad really opens up a lot.
What a way to feel your way into the game. You give a dangerous corner kick after your first touch, or off your first touch, as they go for the back post. Hancock almost got to put it in, past the goal line, and that is confirmed by our linesman. It's Kaka, the Timor-Leste international.
Wow, and again, the delivery from Ruben Thiran, like what we've been talking about, his inclusion. And there, just a real good pass coming from him. Let's have a look at the replay.
Quality ball going for the back post.
Took a little bit more effort, but it did the job, and it cut the defense open yet again.
As we've been mentioning over the course of the season, the ball does not have to touch the net for a goal.
True.
Mahalaga dun, that ball crosses the white line completely.
And in that case, it just rolled over, guaranteed a goal.
And it's 5-0 right now. 2 goals for the Aguilas in the second half.
So it looks like the chinks in the armor of Valenzuela PB Menjola is still out in the open and still in need of repairs.
Kaka, who did get that goal. That's his nickname, which we call him by. As this shot is way over and out. With that name, of course, given to Kaka, it's because he's the older brother back home.
Really a desperate time for Mendiola. They just need to score. A consolation goal could change the complexion of at least their mindset right now.
They want to spoil the bid of the Aguilas, who are out to get their third clean sheet of the season. Here comes Ruben Thiran. Oh, catching everybody off guard, including the fans at the stadium. This was the creativity we were telling you about. Tries to connect. Almost another ASEAN Friends connection right here for the Aguilas.
And again, looking for those spaces where nobody is really watching.
Kaka, there's also the likes of Diallo and Pickering who are playing up front for them. Ruben Thiran squares it. And they are unable to get this on target. And it's a desperate stop from Menjola.
Ruben Thiran is getting a lot difficult to mark. Amita just seeing Ruben Thiran on that right. And Ruben Thiran nicely threading it over. Zambrano just doing everything he can to keep it away, make himself big. In the end, it was a goal kick.
It's like Ruben Thiran just reads the game 2 passes ahead of everyone else. Pickering. They exchange some touches. A big thank you again for joining us on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Philippines Football League. This is Clara Manzano and Clint Casas. We're bringing the commentary. Hancock, just when he thought he got the save, a chance now to get one on the board, but it is no good once more.
I think that Menjola left their shooting boots at home. It's one fine opportunity after another. Look at that pass. He found his man and he was unmarked. But then Fayol couldn't just convert.
The defense did get to recover though. But there's that split second, if we recall also our conversation on that. Split second can give you some time ahead of the defender.
Well, looks like, to be honest, if Menjola had been making all of their few chances count, they could be up there with Aguilas right now.
Here they come now, and it's easily buried. The Aguilas get another goal courtesy of Diallo. They make these screamers look very easy with the quality after finishing.
And Isa Diallo, another substitute there, just making himself really, really quickly. Good attempt there, good shot. And seeing the space that he's been afforded, he really couldn't make a lot of errors there.
Even more icing now on top of the cake for Aguilas UMAK.
And Menjola still have 15 minutes to endure of this punishment.
Just a breakdown of our scorers now. Pickering with a brace. The likes of Cartalaro, Kaka, Adamo, and Diallo also have goals of their own. And that is how we find ourselves at 6-0. These attacks also right here seem to be a bit lackluster, and it's just easily stopped by the defense. Aguilas again, as we mentioned, chasing their third clean sheet of the season.
All the aggression coming from Menjola has all withered now.
As it's with Ruben Thiran. He wanted to join the scoring party and shoot from outside of the box as Nano tried to get that to go also.
He has been at it since the first half. He's been looking to score himself.
It's 15 minutes until we secure or put this result into stone. This is a must-win again for the Aguilas. And they've done well, as you see on the scoreboard. Because if they just bag the draw or anything less, they'd be sitting ducks in the standings. Because you'd have Maharlika and Stallion Laguna right below. As just when you thought it was going to be that elusive goal for Valenzuela PB Mendiola, it seems that they cannot get that one on target.
Yeah, it seems that the goal is still elusive there. They just can't find the back of the net right now, and they've been gifted plenty of opportunities to score. This could have been a 6-5 game, to be honest.
Well, you also have to credit the defense of the Aguilas, but it seems there's an imaginary lid on that goal here for Valenzuela PB. Palpalatok. He'll bring this one up. Ruben Thiran goes for the switch. This is stopped. Now they'll try to bring it forward behind Christian Lapas. Ruben has drifted inside. Later on again in this evening, we do have Tuloy FC and One Taguig. Tomorrow you have the Filipino 5 again, the women's national futsal team. They are competing in the FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup. Head to FIFA.com/tickets for more information. That's Ruben Thiran. He's almost on the verge of making the 7. You see the defense has tightened up already, but it's too little, too late.
Zambrano doing his job to just keep it as low as he can, although it's really unavoidable. I think that the score could have been much worse without his heroics.
And Diallo dribbles past the keeper, casually sends it in. The magic number 7 right here for them.
The amount of goals that they've conceded across the 5 games and the 6 games. And this one, yeah, there's really a lot. Look at that, just skipping the challenge there, Diallo.
Getting another goal to his name right here.
And again, the defense, they were a static line there.
Zambrano's relegated to becoming a sitting duck, unfortunately.
7 times he has to pick the ball from the back of the net.
And as you see, Combe just checked in for Tomoki. Let's also take note or recall our 3 winners yesterday, all bagged clean sheets. Is this going to be the 4th consecutive clean sheet this weekend in the Philippines Football League?
Well, there is still 11 minutes to confirm that, but so far it has been looking like that, unless Mendiola finally decides to take one.
It's in the middle now. Cleared off through the frustration of Fayol. That spell was lackluster. Fayol again, one of the goal scorers of Mendiola so far in this season. This one opening up, but it was clearly offside without a doubt.
I think that was what they were trying to do from earlier. They just wanted to execute the offside trap. But again, if you're not able to time your run properly to trap the attacker, then just like earlier, the offside trap would be as easy to read as a book.
10 minutes but stoppage time remaining at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. We continue to have some steady rain. quite a pleasant weather earlier also, we will say. The clouds blocking the sun a bit.
Yeah, I like the overcast.
But with that, there's the threat of rain. It's all up to the players if they prefer to play under sunny conditions or under rain.
But this kind of rain, it's not heavy enough that it's difficult to see and difficult to move, but it is light enough to keep you cool.
Diagonal ball, and they rattle the crossbar. The goal frame has been hit twice, let's remember. Once for Mendiola earlier, and one just now for Aguilas.
Wow, and looks like Diallo is not only has he joined the race late, but he's also looking to bag his hat trick now. Playing that aggressively, that almost was it.
Two players now with a brace right here for Coach Frank. We've got Diallo and Pickering. Pickering picked this up in 45 minutes, let's remember. Now the Aguilas are chasing that clean sheet. But a shot now, and it is a consolation right here for Fayol. That's the second time he's managed to find the back of the net in this season. Just when we were mentioning that the Aguilas were gunning for clean sheet number 3 in this season, Victor Fayol
Goal for Valenzuela.
had to spoil that,
FC.
and he got to succeed.
Number 39, Victor Fayol.
Well, they have been looking for that goal earlier. Had it come while the score was still close, that could have meant something for them. But right now, it's nothing more but a mere consolation and a spoilage to our debutant's clean sheet. Imade Kaisen will not be keeping a clean sheet today.
But this was kicked off quickly now. Diallo wanted it. Kaka! As it sails out. Let's recall also Kaka and his national team, Timor-Leste, are in the same group as the Philippine men's national football team in the 2027 Asian Cup qualifiers final round. The Philippines and Timor-Leste did square off twice already because that is a double round robin between the Philippines, Tajikistan, Maldives, and Timor-Leste.
And it's going to be a tight contest in the last game. It had to be the last game for the table to be decided.
The Philippines will be traveling to Tajikistan for that tough away game. That's a must-win for the Philippines. Tajikistan can actually settle for a draw.
Think about
2018 right here, but the Philippines,
complete opposite.
they get to host Tajikistan in that final game. So you have home court advantage or home field advantage in the final leg as the first seed.
And we could have also gotten through with a draw at the time.
Kaka got his pocket picked. Welcome to the Philippines, we will say.
Very good welcome, that one.
But as we were saying, with that, if you do have, or if you are the higher seed, thanks to your FIFA ranking, you get to pretty much play a home game in that last window. A role reversal of sorts. Next year, there is also the Women's Asian Cup. But let's not get too ahead because next month already, would you believe, we have the upcoming Southeast Asian Games. We have futsal too, to add to football.
And that's good because that also adds a profile to us that we could not only have these kinds of games, but create a team that can, compete for those.
Diallo to Palpalatok. 7-1 is the score. Pickering and Diallo, each with a brace. Ibrahim Adamu, Cartalaro, and Kaka also have goals of their own. 7 goals, and you have 5 different goal scorers right here for Aguilas UMAK FC. Victor Fayol just bagged that consolation goal earlier right here for Valenzuela PB Mendiola. We did have a triple header also yesterday. We'll run through those results in a bit. That's a rocket us off target for Kaká. But yesterday, we did get to see Stallion Laguna defeat DB Garelli. That was 8-0. Finn McDaniel leads all goal scorers in this league once more. He bagged 5 goals. 1 Galiana Trujillo and Stefan Schrock, each with 2 assists. And in that win of Cebu over Philippine Army, 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers, and 5 different players actually got to assist. And in that battle again between Juggernauts KFC Iloilo and Manila Digger FC, as the header of Ano came off of Palpalatok and into the gloves, or it was met by Kaisen.
I thought that Mendiola was going to spoil the party a second time.
7-1 is the score again right here. For those who just joined us, in that last game yesterday, Manila Digger did win 2-0 over Kaya FC Iloilo. Babukar bagged an assist and a goal. Babukar with 6 goals of his own. Let's remember, Kaya FC Iloilo plays in the AFC Champions League 2. Manila Digger, on the other hand, do play in the AFC Challenge League. Digger did actually advance to the quarterfinals in that aforementioned tournament. And people may be wondering, why are these two teams playing over on the AFC or the continental stage? That is, given their performance, their respective performances in the last season. Kaya, by virtue of being the champions, went straight to the AFC Champions League 2, the second highest competition, of course, on the Asian Football Confederation level. Manila Digger playing in the third tier, the AFC Challenge League.
The levels of football has really increased, and the pyramid itself allows international competitions accessible to developing football nations like we are. That's a good thing.
Because once upon a time, you had the AFC Cup and then the AFC Champions League, two tiers for club competitions. But now, it's back to 3 because they used to have the AFC President's Cup back in the day. And let's not forget, by virtue of winning the PFL Final Series, which was like a super cup between the top 4 in the PFL last year, once again, Kaya, Digger, and Cebu. Cebu is the lowest ranked team. You don't say upset though. And did win that tournament. As a result, they are playing in the Shopee Cup. As the header by Diallo. Stopped. Shot offline once more. Cebu playing at Shopee Cup is the ASEAN Club Championship again. That's a competition we were pointing out where there is VAR.
And with more exposure to these international competitions, it will eventually attract a lot of international players as well from other countries. Of course, hindi naman tayo makaka-attract ng mga Japanese or Korean nationals from the national team itself, but you know, we are starting to attract a lot of quality players that would improve not only the league but the national team as well, as long as the domestic has a good competition.
There's a way to go now. We've seen some national team players, right, from Malaysia, Timor-Leste, to name a few. Sasabihin ko na eh. Nasa starstruck ako eh pag nandito sila sa PFL. Rami Jariri, right, a former Tunisia international. He has Club World Cup experience. We are referring to the Cebu goalkeeper. Essentially because as the header was off target for Charles Pickering, he's chasing that hat trick. But essentially because when you get to play on these overseas competitions, you as the team get to attract more talent.
Agreed.
Takardon. And Takardon again did get hit in the head earlier because of that cross, but he is okay. This one just rolls out for Ano. That summarizes this evening for them in a nutshell. But with just us acknowledging the representatives of the Philippines Football League in the different international competitions, some may be wondering again, how are we going to distribute the spots this year? As it is offside. 3 minutes of additional time, as confirmed by Mike Barajas. So the league champion again right here, whoever tops the table after that third round, or the championship round, will play in the qualifying playoff for the AFC Champions League 2. Other than qualifying to the qualifying playoffs of the ACL 2, they will also get to play in the Shopee Cup. The number 2 team will play in the qualifying playoff for the AFC Challenge League. So you do want to finish in the top spot, not just because you're champions, of course, but because if you do fall in the qualifying playoff of the ACL 2, you are guaranteed a spot in the AFC Challenge League. That's actually how Manila Digger did end up there, because they did lose a heartbreaker in the ACL 2 qualifying round.
But then look at them now. They are certainly dominating. Well, not necessarily dominating, but they're doing well in their respective group, and now they are in the knockout phases. So it's a good thing for, in general, our domestic as well, because it does bring a bit of prestige into the competition.
It's been about 6 years since we've gotten a chance to see a PFL team actually in the knockout stages of an AFC club competition. As away we go now onto the left. The Aguilas want one more for the road. They placed plenty of cherries on top already. Saved by Zambrano. Mendiola desperate to escape this one. But it was played once more forward. There's the cross from Richard. The defensive header as it goes to the side. You are close to making this result official. In swinger now, and Pickering could not quite handle it.
Still looking for the hat trick, but Pickering's header was quite off target. I think the timing and the bounce on the ball was uneven for him.
Just a few minutes now until this is made official. Now it's Hancock getting forward. Kaka. The press here could not phase him. He'll return it to Hancock, who is offside in dramatic fashion, showing his frustration and bouncing the ball out of the ground.
His team is already winning by a great margin, and you could still see frustration for just not being allowed to continue on with the play.
You love the intensity and the passion. The Aguilas playing hard, of course, or as a sign also of respect to their opponents, because this is a competition after all. But we have the full-time whistle right here from referee John Mike Basinang. Charles Pickering and Isa Diallo got to lead away, each with a brace. And Pickering already bagged that brace in the first half. Let's recall, accompanying him on the score sheet, and we've got Ibrahim Adamo, Kart Talarok, and Kaka. A commanding win right here for Coach Frank Muescan's crew and the Aguilas.
Yeah, and the commanding is a great way to put it. They have dominated from start to finish. They may have, or they could have won by a bigger margin here had they been able to find some stability in their attacks early on. But after the 35 seconds in, the goal from there, they weren't able to find their shooting boots for a while. And then on the other side, you'd see that they really needed to keep the defense. They really needed to fix it. The movement that they've had allowed their opposition, the Aguilas, to just take the space unbothered, take shots. And that's how the defense really started to falter. They had to put everything for Zambrano to do. And the defense was not there to clear. They were not there to mark. So it has been difficult.
The Aguilas also improved their footing in that race to finish to the top 6, because anything less than a win right here would have made them vulnerable to the team right below, or right outside the top 6 in Maharlika. We've seen some highlight goals right here in a game that was essentially one-way traffic going to the team in red and blue.
Yeah, and so far this does put the Aguilas in a better position to hang on, to cling on to that top 6 spots. They now sit 5th, and that would make this competition a bit more interesting to see, as well, at least their calendar right now for 2025 has concluded, but football is definitely not over yet.
Pickering and Diallo again with a brace, and they are joined by Kaka, also known, or Malik Xavier, also known as Kaka, and Kart Talarok and Ibrahim Adamo. And Fayo gave us the consolation goal of Valenzuela PB Menjola. But before we sign off, of course, we are going to take it to the pitch for our interview. But we'll sign off right here. This is Clara Manzano alongside Glenn Casas.
Congratulations on the result of your match. What are your thoughts on the game?
First of all, thank you. I think the team worked really hard. We use this as, respectfully, we use this as preparation for our next game. I think that we still have a lot to work on, but overall, you know, the important thing is that we got the 3 points, so we're very happy with that.
What are your message to your fans?
To all the Aguilas fans, we wish that you come and watch our games because we really need you and you guys really get us going. So, and thank you for the support that you've given us until this point. So hopefully we can give you a better push in the second leg.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.